anyone that knows me will know that Sri Lanka is one of my favorite countries in the world. But one thing I've never really talked about before is the incredible cuisine that can be found in Sri Lanka. While not quite as diverse as India, you can still find a lot of amazing curries. They have a lot of unique dishes of their own, and one of my favorite things is a Sri Lankan breakfast, which consists of hoppers made from rice flour. So I'm going to go through a few of the different foods that I ate on my last trip to Sri Lanka, give you guys a little sort of taste, a little insight into Sri Lankan cuisine. Let's check out some of the food I ate in Sri Lanka. When you wake up in the morning, whether you're staying in a local guest house, a Airbnb, or even a luxury hotel, obviously breakfast is the first thing that you're going to have. In Sri Lanka, the most traditional thing to have is egg hoppers, or just hoppers without the egg. So the hoppers looks like this. It looks like this white bowl that you can eat, and it's made from rice flour, and you can see them making it right there and then at the breakfast stand. For breakfast this morning, I've decided to go traditional. So I'm having a hopper with egg hoppers, and with grated coconut sambal in the middle. So a very traditional Sri Lankan breakfast. It's like an edible bowl made out of rice flour, and there is fried egg in the middle, and then they have grated coconut and coconut sambal on the top. And you can kind of like fold it all in together and eat it. It's seriously delicious. I'm gonna show you guys now how to eat it. You can obviously use your knife and fork and just eat it that way. Sometimes what I like to do is kind of just like fold it in like this and then kind of eat it like a burrito. I'm sure every Sri Lankan watching this will laugh, but essentially I roll it up like this little burrito. It's so easy to eat, and it's kind of like a Sri Lankan version of a breakfast burrito. In a lot of the nicer hotels, they have this kind of hopper stand at breakfast time. So you'll see one or two people standing behind a table. They're pouring the batter, the hopper's batter into the pan. They're frying it for a few seconds, and then they crack an egg and pour it in. So the egg actually cooks inside of the hoppers for a few seconds, and then they serve it up to you. One of the things I love is actually the street food and the little snacks. So when we were taking the train from Kandy to Ella, there was a guy walking up and down the train selling these sort of like, I guess, kind of looked like a samosa. Just bought a few. It was so cheap. Like I think we bought a bag for like 50 cents or something. We got this like onion bhaji and pakora. We got a whole bag of them for 50 cents. Another time when we were in Ella, we went to a really local restaurant. We were the only foreigners in there, but again, like they did have like a few curries and a few dishes, some rice dishes, but they had these sort of like paratha bread, and they had these samosas again. Really cheap, really delicious, really good Sri Lankan street food. This is deviled chicken. Over here, there's I actually don't know what this is called, but it's got kind of like onion and vegetables inside. So we've also got this massive plate of fried rice, you'll see. We are on our way to Dambulla, and we have just stopped off at this little roadside restaurant. So I'm going to take you guys inside. We're actually the only people here. There was 3 Sri Lankan guys a while ago. There's Mom. I'm going to show you guys the type of food that they have. So they have rice, brown rice, noodles, and different types of curry, and different types of vegetables. Papadum? Yeah. And chilies. So everything on our plate is vegetarian. So we've got 2 different types of rice, and 2 different types of vegetable curry, and some papadums. Are you happy, Mum?
Very happy.
If you're staying in any of the big hotels, they nearly all have buffets. So buffet breakfast, buffet lunch, buffet dinner. It can get a bit tiring after a while, I'm not gonna lie. But they have some really delicious Sri Lankan curries on offer. So you could have between 5 and 10 different curries all lined up in a row, and you can pick what you want. You can add like brown rice or white rice. So yeah, there is a really good mixture. Some of them are really spicy. Sri Lankans do like their chilies, they do like their spicy food. And while you might pay like $10 or $15 for a really nice buffet meal in a luxury hotel, you can get pretty much the exact same meal in a local restaurant for like $1 or $2. So we did find that the food was the same, if not better, in the local restaurants and like 100 times cheaper. One of my personal favorite food experiences in Sri Lanka was actually at a hotel called Cinnamon Bay Bariwala. And it was Sri Lankan food sort of mixed with other cuisines, so mixed with sort of like Japanese food. We actually went down to the local fish market with the chef from the hotel, helped him pick out what we were going to eat for dinner, what fish we wanted to have, and he also picked out some fish that he was going to use for some sort of traditional breakfast dish the next day.
You went with the tuna and kingfish. We have a lot of variety of the red mullet. Those are the things what we have. You can have it fresh with but in the stone. You have to cook yourself and eat.
Yeah, we all sat down, we were all given these chef's hats, and we got to cook our own meal essentially. Started off with some sort of sushi dish that was served in this glass igloo, which was incredible. And then we were all given this hot stone, pour a bit of oil on it, and you can cook up like prawns, chicken, and the fish that we'd gotten from the local market. So it was a really cool, unique, fun experience, and it was definitely probably the favourite dinner all of us had. We're here in Rock Salt in Cinnamon Bay Bariwala, and we're having an incredible culinary experience. Every single one of us is getting our own sort of like rock tablet, and we're going to cook our own food. The chef just came up and said that he was retiring for the night, that he was leaving, and that we were all going to have to cook our own food.